everyone, and welcome back. I'm MichaelJMAD, and we are playing Planet Coaster. Uh, Technically, this park doesn't have a name. I've just been calling it the YouTube Park, so if you have a suggestion for a name, throw it in the comment section down below, and I will pick the one that I like the most, or maybe even the one that gets upvoted the most. It just kind of depends. In this first little bit here, I work on the theme park area. Add in 2 new rides. I think it's 2 new rides. A couple of new rides, and I do some landscaping. I put in some trees and things like that. So yeah, I do work on this quite a bit. I'm still not overly happy with the area, and I've been started trying to do my pass, my Q pass, with some gapping in there, because there's a thing in this game that has a was it Q path excitement or something like that. And basically it just, if you have like scenery items around there, or it might be beauty, scenery items around your queue path, it gets a higher rating, which I would assume gets you more people wanting to ride that ride. I'm not 100% sure on that. With Christmas being around the corner and things like that, I throw in some trees that are very Christmas-esque. I throw in some, I think those are oak. And then I just do some general bushes and things like that. I do like how those bushes turned out. That come through really nice. So, also, while we're kind of at a slow bit here, I want to thank everyone that's new to the channel and all of the wonderful comments that I've been getting, because it's been so positive. So thank you so much, everyone that's on here. Also to the foreign nationals that are on here, the Japanese that have been commenting. I don't speak Japanese. I can't read Japanese. I was using Google Translate to answer that comment, which quite literally said comment. So yeah, if it was correct, then great. If not, I'm sorry. It was Google Translate. Yeah, if you have commented and I've missed it, I am sorry. I am trying to keep up with that. It's been very, there's been a lot. I mean, for me anyway. I went from no comments to at least 2 or 3 a day, which doesn't seem like a lot. And it really, I mean, for me, it's amazing, and just that feeling that you get is amazing. I build up the canopy system, if you want to call it that, for the second train station, the one that's in the back of the park. And I decided to go with this kind of pole barn style with the corrugated roof. I think it looks really good. I'm not 100% sold on the leaning side, the one leaning side. But again, the idea behind that is the smoke rises, it hits the top of it and goes out one side instead of pushing it back down and onto the customers that are waiting in line to get in. I do like the open feeling of this better than the other design, but if you have suggestions on something that would look better or another way of doing it, or if you like the other design better, comment down below, and yeah, we'll kind of go from there. I was trying to figure out what to cap that with, and I spent a few minutes looking for different things, and I couldn't find anything that I really liked the capping with. I also decided it's time for another roller coaster, and because this area has this really nice canyon, which is why I built the train out here, I decided to go with a wooden style roller coaster, which this is the wooden coaster with the train car in the front of it. I will say again, I absolutely love the build mechanics of here. You know, you have so much control over the track, how much it bends, how much it curves, how much the track I've went completely brain dead, how much the track has in like the pitch and things like that in the roll. And that is probably the coolest thing of this game. But something that I would like to see, and I think it would be I assume would be easy to implement. It's nearly impossible to get a straight bit of track on here after you go through a corner or something like that. And whenever you like place a piece of track, if you're going to try to go straight, a lot of times it'll go off in one corner and go straight up, or it'll bend and continue the curve that you were previously doing, even though you've told the piece before that to go straight. So I think it's got it's got to do with where you're not getting it a 100% straight. Having some sort of ability like they do with the bank on here, to where it shows how many degrees bank you have. Having something like that in both the up and down, so the elevation, and in the actual curve would be really, really handy, because then I could see that I have exactly, 10 degrees pitch to, plus or minus, or I have 10 degrees in my curve, plus or minus. And that would make building ghosts a lot smoother in this. Now, this roller coaster, I was trying to keep it slow, so this roller coaster only goes about 50 miles an hour, according to the in-game thing. It might go a little bit more than that. But I did on my live stream Friday, the coaster that I built on there was faster. It was quite a bit faster. And nobody was riding it. It was just not getting ridden at all. So I decided I wanted to keep this one a little bit slower so it would get more popularity. As it is, at the end of this video, the park itself is losing about $1,500 a day. And I even know this isn't an unlimited money park, I do want to try to keep it profitable. I want to learn how to do this, because I do plan on starting a live playthrough series where I'm actually having to manage the funds and stuff like that. I do plan on doing that. I'm not sure how to go about recording it, because with this I can time lapse it, and there's a lot, you get to see a lot and everything pretty quickly. But in any kind of live series, I could time lapse it, but it's not going to be, there's going to be a lot of just sitting there waiting on money to build up and things like that. So I'm not figured that quite out yet. And if you watched my stream Friday, you'll see what I was talking about, because I literally went broke building the campaign park. But as I was saying, with the speed of this, because of the speed, it doesn't have the ability to make it up some of these hills, like this hill right here. It cannot make it up it. So I end up, by the end of it, adding in multiple chain lifts. And it actually works really well, because it does make it, for the most part, except for the one just prior to the last one, it does make it up the chain lift pretty much without ever, going below like super slow. I also tried dropping the cart number down, because I thought it would be cool to have a bunch of like smaller carts, 2 cars, 3 cars, something like that, and doing like that. And then I quickly took that out, because they've done really well with the ability of managing weight. So the more weight you have behind the train, the faster it will be. So, and the more mass it has to get up those hills and things like that. So it does make a difference, the amount of cars that you have on there. And if you're planning on building it with 2 or 3 cars, you probably should change it in that, so that way you're building it like that, because it can bite you in the end. So yeah, as I'm tweaking the track here and things like that, trying to get it situated and trying to get it to where I can actually make it up there. I actually do manage to get it up there on this design, but it doesn't have enough speed to make it into the tunnel chain drive system. So I end up having to add another hill here, sadly. But again, it works, and you'll see at the end of the video when I do the typical ride of the roller coasters, that it does work really well. And I do plan on doing some more scenery scenery around the track itself, and I do some of that in this video, which it does look really nice, and it performs fairly well. And I'm doing the O's again. I'm sorry. While I'm kind of fiddling with that, I do want to bring up something that's kind of aggravating, but again, nothing I can really do about it. If you are one of the ones that have been trying to get an NES Classic, then you know my pain. They have been so difficult to find. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to pay $200-300 for a $60 system, because Nintendo doesn't want to release more than 5. Which obviously I know they've released more than 5, but you know what I mean, especially if you've been trying to buy the thing. So, yeah, they went on sale, or are supposed to be going on sale again, and that's why it's 2 a.m. and me trying to record this overlap, or voice overlay. I've been up refreshing a site, trying to to get one of these NES Classics. And if you have gotten an NES Classic, comment down below and tell me what you think about it, because I would really like to know. I'm pretty sure it's going to be amazing because it's an NES. That was probably one of the better systems. But this whole ordeal with trying to get one is kind of souring my experience with it. Which, again, if you've ever been bought anything that was Nintendo expected to be a high value item, then they do this every time. They release minimum amounts, and then they get bought up, and you end up doing like they do the video cards with what is it? The new RXs and the 1080s and stuff like that. Is the price of them goes up to $500-600 more than the actual retail price that all these companies are trying to sell them for, because people buy the pre-order on them and then turn around and resell them. And I have seen these things, the NES Classics, on eBay sell for $80,000. Now, whether or not the person actually received the $80,000 for it, I don't know, but eBay itself said it sold for $80,000+. And that's ridiculous. It's a $60 system. So, I don't know. If you've got one, I would like to know. So, if let me know down in the comments. Anyway, I had a lot of people complaining about being thirsty and hungry in the park, which I do have food at the beginning of it, but apparently not enough. So I start building out this kind of all-in-one. This has got all the food options that there are in Planet Coasters right now, and all of the drink options, plus a restroom. So I'm hoping that this does pretty well. I'm not overly sold on the design. I end up with a very, well, as you can see the way it's going, it's a very barn-esque design. It does work. It really does work, and I like that idea, but it's the exterior design that I'm not completely sold on. I did make this one available on the Steam Workshop, so if you would like to see if you'd like to see it or use it yourself, then by all means. Like I said, it's not the best design. I did end up calling it the Barn House Bar and Grill, which is a stupid little name, but this whole area of the park is kind of ending up being more old school, like a Western style, I guess, trains and stuff, mine carts and things. The barn definitely does fit in with the overall style. The other problem that I was having with this design is when I was just trying to save the blueprint and copy and paste it, is I cannot get it to copy and paste or save the pathway, even though I go in there and snap it to the grid and things like that. So if y'all know how to do that, let me know in the comment section, because it's really been aggravating me, because I want to be able to save this with the path. Everything else copies just fine, it's just the pathway. So, yeah, if you know how to do that, let me know down below. Let's see. I had a suggestion that I was going to mention on this video, and I cannot think of it. I've went completely brain dead. But yeah, I decided to build up this thing, and I'm using the oil lamps that have the handle up on them. And I was trying to find something like 2x4s, and I spent a lot of time looking for something like a 2x4 so I can build like a little frame or something to mount this inside the barn with. And eventually I just give up, because I know that there are boards in here, but I can't find them. I've looked in all of the tabs. I spent probably 25-30 minutes looking for these things. And even stopped for a little bit, got something to eat, and come back. I couldn't find it. So if you know of another lighting design, by all means let me know too. But I think the lamps work really well, and the overall effect that they give at night is pretty cool. So yeah, and that is something else I do know that I am aware of that I have to do, is I have to go around the park and add in lighting to the whole thing, because right now the only place that there's lighting is like in this building and whatever the rides are casting out, and the Christmas tree that I did at the beginning. So I've got to figure out how I want to do the lighting. I'm going to be doing more landscaping with trees. I still haven't figured out what I want to do with the mountain. It's kind of growing on me, especially as I build up the terrain and stuff like that around it. It is kind of growing on me, but I'm still not overly sold on it. So, yeah. Anyway, there was something. I was going to bring up something, but I can't think of it. I don't know if anybody's been following No Man's Sky. They have released the information on their page about the foundation update, I think it is called. And the only thing I will say is, if you're just really excited for that, great. But try not to get too hyped until it's actually a thing, because we don't want to end up, getting ourselves hyped up, which, I got hyped up pretty big over the game, because I absolutely love the idea of it. And, yeah, they busted big time on it. So, yeah. Also, when I was building that path out there, somehow or another, I missed it being completely elevated. And I did notice it as I was building, like, the roller coaster and things like that, but it kind of works. So I've left it elevated, even though it's, it causes a little bit of down in places. I am leaving it elevated just because I like having the guardrails and stuff around it, which I know you can turn on in the normal, but I like how it feels. I add in some more rides out here to draw more business out here, because I was, at the time, still not getting a whole lot of traffic, and everybody's in line for the train, the Soul Train. This roller coaster here that I start building, it's that wacky looking bird cart thing with the swinging cars. And actually, it's a really cool idea. I'd love to ride something like this. I think it would be a blast. And as I build it up and things like that, I notice that it does have some work really well with the swinging of the carts. Now, this corkscrew here, I'm going to take it out because it's going entirely too fast. And when you ride it, which you'll see at the end of it, it jerks you around a lot. So I'm going to be taking that corkscrew out and moving it to a slower section of the track. I'm actually thinking about adding it in at the top of the hill, so it'll drop down maybe 5 feet or something like that, go through the corkscrew, and then dive toward the ground and connect into the rest of the track. So I think I'm going to do that. I like that. I still haven't worked on and I'm getting very fast in my talking. I'll try to slow down. I still haven't worked on the scene area of the train ride. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to go about that, and just kind of get a general feeling for how that's going to go. So if you have any suggestions for that too, I'm probably going to do like a piratey area too with the Kraken thing that we've got. I think that could be pretty cool. And there are triggers too, so I've got to look into doing that. And the park that that was the coolest thing I've seen. The park that I ran on the stream last Friday was it was a campaign, the second campaign of the first tier, I guess, if you want to call it that. And it had a real scenic thing using those slow running cars, and I really like that, and it did the triggers, and it was really well done. So I like that a lot. I may try to do something like that myself. I added in some more trees. I'm still using the pre-built blueprints a lot on a lot of this stuff, just because I'm not 100% sure what's going to look good. So I'm still trying to get into my builder shoes. I do decide to add in this line of trees here, which helps a lot, breaking that off from that section and kind of sectioning that off. Right there I was publishing the barn, house, bar, and grill. I add in this lake. I plan on adding in some form of, I guess this is going to be my water ride section over there by that lake. And I try to use the rocks here around the track to make it feel like the track is actually setting on the mountain and not just floating there. I build up some more of the train around the Canyon Run roller coaster. I think that's what I called it, Canyon Run. I can't remember. Although, like I said, all these names, they can be changed. If you have a better name, then post them in the comment section, and we'll go from there. I decide that we need an information booth, a first aid, and another bathroom out here in this section. So I built this little 2x3, and I like a lot how it come out. I do want to do some more designs on the front of it, maybe do a little awning or something over the information booth. And but just for a simplistic design, it works really well. And I don't upload this one, I just save it in my blueprint so I can come back to the design later. and I end up placing it right in this section, which in actually, all honesty, is a really good place for it because it's right off the main path, so it'll be like the first thing you come to. Anyway, guys, we're gonna jump into the footage of the riding real quick, and yeah, I guess, yeah, the footage of the riding on here, it's in the like pre-edit, you know, the rendering phase here, the video looks grainy and very jittery to me. So I'm gonna check it when I upload it to YouTube, and if it's coming through that way, I'm gonna have to look at my software because it wasn't doing it. It didn't do that on the last video. It was very jumpy for me, but it didn't seem it. If the video, if you're watching the video on YouTube and it seems like it's jumping a lot and not buffering, so I mean like the video itself is physically stopping but not stopping in YouTube, if that makes sense, post a comment and let me know, because I'm having issues with the time lapsing, and it looks very jumpy to me, and you may see something that I missed and things like that. Now this is 100% normal speed, and it feels very fast for just what, 50 miles an hour. So yeah, it's a good little coaster. I like it. I do think it needs to have some more water in the bottom of this canyon, and maybe I might change it around to a bit more sandy feel. If I do sand, I probably won't add water. If I add water, I may add in some more like greenery, like trees. I do plan on doing some work to this area down here. But yeah. The roller coaster does really well. The hills where it catches the chain lift, like this one here, you can feel the difference when it slows down, but that does give you a chance to slow down and look around the park, which is really cool. You can see a lot of the park from this, and I love this landscape in the background. It's amazing. So we're going through the next. This is actually the biggest drop on this coaster. I did try to make sure the track was as smooth as could be. It seems a little sharp in places. I think that's just like a can't be helped type thing. It's really difficult to get the banks done without being very snappy. So, yeah. And then we go up through here, where we're doing about 30 right there when we finally start up that little bit of hill, and then we catch the chain lift. And actually, I know I didn't call it Canyon Run, I called it Gold Run, because it looks like gold in there. That's just textured that way. I don't know if it was intentional or if it was an accident, but it looks like gold. So I ended up calling this Gold Run. That's what it was. I thought of it the same place, the name of it in the same exact place as I thought of it here. That's terrible. Let's see. And then we're going through the final section. I do need to add some lighting down in there, although it feels very bright, even though that it's all underground. But I think I'm going to open that up and add in a little bit of lighting down in there. Maybe some water, like standing water or something like that. I think that could be cool. And then we start up the final hill into the station. Which, this is kind of sad with the way I did that. I should have changed it up. But if there's a cart or a train in the station when this next one ends up waiting there, the passengers end up hanging there. Which, I mean, they're not hanging from their shoulders. They're kind of leaning back, but it could be kind of nerving in real life. So, yeah. This thing, I still haven't named it. I don't honestly know what to name it. Like I said, I do want to do a couple little tweaks here and there, but yeah. You can see how the carts are swinging around too, which is, it's really cool. That could be so much fun to ride. And actually, thinking about it, if you go through, you don't have to bank the track because the cart itself will naturally bank. You could actually do some really cool designs with doing the natural banking and things like that, so I may have to work on that. I do kind of wish there was a different design. The bird, I'm not overly fond of the bird. Yeah, it's cool and all, but it seems a bit more for a kiddie ride. And then the ride that I have built is really not not kid, I wouldn't say kid friendly, because it's very, very quick. I have never actually looked at the top speed. I need to look at the top speed. Anyway, guys, we're getting close to the end of this here. I do want to thank everybody that's new to the channel, all the new subs, all the wonderful comments that I've been getting. And yeah, like I say, keep it up. Keep the comments coming. Put in some suggestions, and we'll see if we can't make this a proper YouTube park. Again, like I said, the park doesn't have a name, so if you want to name it, throw the comments down below. Why am I having so much issue talking? I'm sorry. Throw the comments down below, and we'll have some fun. We'll see if we can't come up with some really cool names. If you have an idea for a design of a roller coaster, I'm planning on trying to do at least one roller coaster per episode as I build and things like that. I don't know how far this park's going to go. I don't know how big this park's going to be, but there's a lot of space and there's a lot to do. So we're going to add in quite a bit and kind of go from there. It really whips you really hard right there. I've got to change that. I do know I have to change that. Let's see, if you have any ideas for like rides that I'm missing or I need to put in, roller coaster design that I need to put in. I do think that the next episode I'm going to add in either a log flume or the big inner tube thing that I talked about last episode. I think I'll probably do the inner tube thing because I've got an idea that will involve the mountain. I just don't know how well that's going to be implemented, so we'll have to see. So yeah, anyway guys, I've been MichaelJMAD, and I will catch you all next time. Like I said, comments, suggestions, everything, throw them down below. And I am aware that the exit, the outro video, it's pretty much double says everything. I'm going to be re-recording the audio on that and kind of going from there, just because I know it needs to be done and I'm not 100% sure what needs to go on there. I've got a couple of ideas, so keep your eyes peeled for that. It won't be this video, it probably won't be the next one, because it takes quite a bit of time to do that in After Effects, to change all that around to the new audio and things like that. So yeah, anyway, we'll catch everyone next time. Hi guys, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or suggestions, throw them in the comment section down below. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, subscribe. I've been MichaelJMAD, and I'll catch you next time.